The U.S. Central Command says its forces have redirected 44 commercial vessels, disabled 2 and boarded 2 others as part of the operation against Iran. Iranian military advisor Mohsen Rezi warned that Tehran would not accept any U.S. attempt to create shipping lanes in the strait outside routes approved by Iran. Reza said Iran does not seek war but claimed its armed forces are prepared to respond to any threats, warning that U.S. warships using such routes could be considered targets. A drone strike on Russia's Moscow region has killed 5 people and injured 6 others, according to local authorities. Well, the attack came as Russian forces carried out strikes on Ukraine's Sumy region, where 1 person was reportedly killed. The latest exchange of attacks follows a series of deadly Ukrainian strikes targeting areas in Russia and Crimea. Both sides continue to carry out long-range attacks as the war enters another period of heightened tensions. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed Ukraine's ambassador to the United States, Ola Stefanishina, in a move expected as part of a broader government and diplomatic reshuffle. Stefanishina, who served as ambassador for nearly a year, said her departure was her own decision, citing personal circumstances. She said Ukraine had strengthened cooperation with US during her tenure, including efforts to maintain US support and military assistance. Dozens of migrants in Spain's enclave of Ceuta received food aid after days without distribution as authorities continued to respond to the latest migration surge. Spanish authorities said between 3,000 and 5,000 migrants remain in Ceuta, including around 860 minors, while others have been returned to Morocco. Officials said 72 people died during the crossings, mostly by drowning, while Morocco reported an additional 11 fatalities on the Moroccan side of the border. The mass arrivals have placed heavy pressure on Ceuta as Spanish authorities continue to manage the humanitarian and security response. North Korea has rejected a US-led warning accusing its overseas information technology workers of generating funds for the country's weapons programs. Pyongyang dismissed the allegations as an attempt to damage its reputation and accused Washington of hypocrisy over cyber activities. The statement comes after the United States and its allies raised concerns over the use of disguised IT workers to evade sanctions and support prohibited programs. Protests erupted in Panama City as hundreds of farmers, residents and activists gathered outside the Supreme Court to oppose a planned reservoir project linked to the Panama Canal. The proposed development would require the relocation of several rural communities, prompting concerns over land rights, water access and the impact on generations-old settlements. Demonstrators have accused the Panama Canal Authority and the government of failing to protect affected communities, with residents claiming the project threatens their homes and livelihoods. The dispute has intensified debate in Panama over balancing the canal's future needs with the rights of communities living in the affected areas. Hundreds of teachers marched to Buenos Plaza de Mayo demanding higher wages, increased funding for public education and the reopening of national salary negotiations. Protesters said the demonstration was about more than pay, arguing that education and other public services are facing growing pressure amid broader government spending cuts. Cuba is working to restore electricity after another nationwide blackout plunged Havana and other parts of the island into darkness. The country's energy authorities said difficult weather conditions contributed to the latest power failure, adding to a long-running crisis affecting the national grid. The Cuban government has blamed U.S. sanctions for deepening the energy crisis as residents across the island remain affected as authorities work to stabilize power supplies and restore normal operations. Japan's Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi has called for an urgent strengthening of the country's military capabilities, citing an increasingly challenging security environment in the region. According to Japan's latest defense white paper, China's expanding military activities, North Korea's continued missile and nuclear programs, and Russia's growing military cooperation with regional partners are key security concerns. Thailand and Indonesia have agreed to strengthen cooperation in the fight against transnational cybercrime. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto reached the agreement during talks in Jakarta as part of the Thai leaders' official visit to Indonesia. The two leaders said closer collaboration will enhance efforts to counter cross-border cyber threats and strengthen regional security cooperation in addressing increasingly sophisticated cybercrime networks. Gujarat has confirmed 35 cases of Chandipura virus after testing 184 suspected patients as health authorities step up surveillance across the state. State Health Minister Rushikesh Patel said 22 people have died due to the virus, while 7 patients remain in intensive care. Officials said surveillance, contact tracing and laboratory testing have been intensified to contain the spread of the vector-borne disease. Health authorities have urged the public to follow preventive measures as monitoring continues in affected areas. Tamil Nadu opposition leader Udhayanidhi Stalin has been taken into police custody over controversial remarks made during a public meeting in Thanjavur. The comments, allegedly referencing Chief Minister Joseph Vijay and actor Trisha Krishnan, sparked political controversy, with critics claiming they were sexually suggestive. TVK has filed complaints with police and the National Commission for Women over the remarks. Police took Stalin into custody from his Chennai residence after talks with his party's legal team, and he was taken for questioning. An Antarctic polar blast has brought heavy snowfall and icy conditions to parts of New Zealand's South Island, disrupting daily life and closing roads. Dunedin was blanketed in snow as temperatures dropped, with police urging residents to avoid unnecessary travel due to dangerously icy roads. The unusual sea-level snowfall caused transport disruptions, with bus services suspended and road closures put in place across the city. Authorities also reported ferry disruptions due to strong winds and rough sea conditions. New Zealand's weather service said the cold spell is expected to continue with more snow and sleet possible across the region. Greek firefighters are continuing efforts to contain a wildfire northwest of Athens, with helicopters and aircraft deployed for a 4th consecutive day. The blaze, intensified by strong and unpredictable winds, has damaged homes, pine forests and farmland, forcing evacuations in affected areas. More than 400 firefighters and 21 aircraft have been mobilized near the communities of Kandili and Ayaskepi. Authorities are using heavy machinery to create fire breaks and prevent the flames from spreading to residential areas. Now, the wildfire is part of a wider wave of summer blazes across Europe, where extreme heat and prolonged dry conditions have increased fire risks. Colombia has raised the alert level for the Puris volcano to orange after monitoring systems recorded a significant increase in volcanic activity. Authorities said the alert was issued as a precautionary measure, allowing preparations for a possible eruption. The Colombian Geological Service said the volcano has shown its highest activity levels since monitoring began in 1993, with increased gas emissions and ash releases recorded in recent weeks. Officials warned that an eruption cannot be predicted precisely but said communities must remain prepared as the volcano shows signs of instability. Asian markets traded with caution as after Wall Street hit fresh record highs helped by stronger US manufacturing data. South Korean stocks led regional gains, while Japan's Nikkei edged lower. Oil prices steadied after Monday's sharp sell-off as investors continued to monitor uncertainty over the US-Iran conflict and the outlook for global energy supplies. Markets are also watching expectations for another US Federal Reserve rate hike in September. Oil prices rebounded about 1% after Monday's sharp sell-off as uncertainty over the US-Iran conflict kept traders on edge. Brent crude climbed back towards $85 a barrel, while WTI rose about $81 after Iran denied US claims that talks were underway. Markets remain focused on the Strait of Hormuz, through which around 20% of global oil and gas supplies normally passes, with continued security risks preventing oil from shedding its geopolitical premium. US President Donald Trump has accused oil companies of making too much money from supply disruptions linked to the Iran conflict. Trump said soaring fuel prices have boosted industry profits and urged companies to avoid passing excessive costs on to the consumers as the White House pushes for lower energy prices. Boeing has secured a major regulatory win after US authorities certified the long-delayed 737 MAX 7 aircraft. The approval clears the way for deliveries of the smallest MAX variant, ending years of delays linked to safety reviews and certification requirements following the 737 MAX crisis. The Inter-American Development Bank says Venezuela will have to wait before it can access new loans. Speaking at a press conference in Uruguay, IDB President Ilan Goldfein said lending will not resume immediately despite the bank restoring relations with Caracas after an 8-year break. Ilan said several issues still need to be resolved before financing can move forward, adding that talks between the bank and Venezuelan officials will continue. Chinese AI startup DeepSeek has launched its new V4 Flash AI model, claiming it is the lowest cost major AI model to run globally. According to research firm Artificial Analysis, the model costs just 3 cents per benchmark test, making it more than 100 times cheaper to run than Anthropic's Cloud Fable 5 and significantly cheaper than OpenAI's GPT 5.6. The model delivers performance similar to Google's Gemini 3.6 Flash, but still scores below the top AI models from OpenAI, Anthropic and Chinese rival Moonshot. DeepSeek has also confirmed that it is preparing a more powerful model called V4 Pro. The Australian government has hiked a planned levy that will force tech giants to pay multi-million-dollar charges if they fail to strike commercial deals with local media outlets for news on their platforms. The government has raised the levy to 2.5% and said it will now be calculated using a company's advertising revenue instead of its total business revenue. Now, the rules will apply to platforms with more than $176 million in local annual revenue, including Meta, Google, TikTok and LinkedIn. The money raised will be used to support Australia's news industry, with a new law expected to be introduced later this month. Steelmaker ArcelorMittal has expanded its partnership with Microsoft as part of its cloud-first data-centric digital strategy. The company will continue using Microsoft Azure as its primary cloud computing platform. ArcelorMittal will also adopt Microsoft Fabric, Purview and Foundry to modernize its IT systems, strengthen cybersecurity and reduce its dependence on legacy technology. The company did not disclose the financial terms of the agreement. Apple has launched a new legal challenge against the British government after authorities asked the company to create a way for law enforcement to access encrypted iCloud backups of users in the United Kingdom. Now, the company has filed its case before the UK's Investigatory Powers Tribunal, arguing that it has never created a backdoor or master key to any of its products or services and that it has no plans to do so in the future. The British government said it supports a strong encryption and user privacy but believes law enforcement must be able to access communications when necessary to investigate terrorism, serious crime and child sexual abuse. Chinese tech giant Alibaba has unveiled its most advanced AI model to date, Qwen 3.8 Max, as the company steps up competition in the global artificial intelligence race. Alibaba said the new model has 2.4 trillion parameters, can process text, images and videos, and can handle up to 1 million tokens in a single request, making it suitable for large documents, software code and complex tasks. Now, the company said Qwen 3.8 Max uses a mixture of experts design that activates only the parts of the model needed for a task, helping reduce computing costs while improving speed and efficiency. Telegram has been restored on Apple's AI App Store after the messaging app briefly disappeared from the platform, with users across several regions unable to find or download the app for a short period. Neither Apple nor Telegram has explained why the app was temporarily removed, and there is no indication that the app was taken down over a policy violation or government order. Telegram said the app should soon be available again to all users. The incident comes months after Telegram faced regulatory action in some countries, including a temporary app store removal in India during the NEET exam period and earlier removals from Apple's China App Store to comply with local government orders. The White House has invited Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic and Google to discuss new voluntary cybersecurity tests for the most advanced AI models following recent incidents involving rogue AI systems. Now, the meeting comes after OpenAI disclosed that one of its AI agents escaped a testing environment and hacked into Hugging Face, while Anthropic revealed that some of its Claude AI models accessed the systems of 3 companies during cybersecurity tests. Now, the Trump administration has finalized the framework for voluntary AI safety tests that will measure the cyber capabilities of advanced AI models, though details of how the tests will be conducted have not yet been made public. Pakistan batter Abdullah Shafiq scored his 6th Test century in the second and final Test match against the West Indies in Trinidad and Tobago. Shafiq was well supported by Babar Azam's 87 that helped Pakistan post a total of 266 for the loss of just 2 wickets at the end of Day 2. The 168-run partnership meant that the visitors are just 78 runs away from clearing the deficit. On the morning of Day 2, West Indies posted an above-par score of 344 after all-rounder Justin Greaves and captain Roston Chase added 105 runs to their overnight total. In response, Pakistan's batters springed back to life in their first innings, despite losing Imam-ul-Haq early, while Pakistan were able to resurrect their innings with 3 of the top 4 batters scoring over 50 runs. The English Football Association is set to withdraw its support for Gianni Infantino's re-election as FIFA president amid growing opposition to his leadership. Now, the move follows a backlash over a scraped proposal to sell private stakes in the FIFA World Cup, a plan that drew sharp criticism from several member associations. Wales, Sweden and Serbia have already withdrawn their backing for Infantino, raising questions over the level of support ahead of the next FIFA presidential election. Now, the developments mark a growing challenge to Infantino's leadership as football governing bodies express concerns over FIFA's governance and decision-making. After delivering his billion-dollar debut, Jafar Jackson is set to join Will Smith in Supermax. The upcoming thriller, set in a maximum security prison, the plot involves two FBI agents, played by Smith and Robb, investigating a murder that occurred behind the prison's heavily secured walls. Jackson's role in the David Goggin Green-directed feature is being kept under wraps, but it is reportedly a pivotal part of the mystery. The return of Miranda Priestly is a massive streaming hit. The Devil Wears Prada 2 racked up 15.2 million views in its first 5 days of digital debut. The sequel reunited original stars Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci and Meryl Streep. It is now the largest live-action premiere for the House of Mouse since 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine. The movie had earned $691 million at the global box office. Blackpink superstar Jennie became the first female K-pop act to headline the Lollapalooza Chicago Festival. Performing solo, she closed out the Bud Light stage with a 1-hour 18-song set that included both fan favorites and unreleased material. The set featured the live debut of her July single Less Than a Lover and a surprise new track. Jennie previously performed at the Chicago Festival as part of Blackpink in 2019 and 2023. The K-pop girl group Tweed is preparing for their highly anticipated debut on 24th of August. The 7-member multinational group will debut with the EP Tune and Play under HYBE's newly established label dedicated to girl groups. The group's name is derived from the phrase "tune the tide." The young women have already become a new sensation on social media. Indian filmmakers Imtiaz Ali and Anurag Kashyap have teamed up for the short film Bobby Beauty Parlor, directed by Shashwat Dwivedi and Kashyap. The film will premiere on social media in the month of August. Now, the short stars Adrija Sinha and follows two childhood friends who spend a summer afternoon bickering inside a neighborhood beauty parlor. Following a highly successful run in theatres, the Marathi horror comedy Tumbachi Manjula will make its global digital premiere on ZEE5 on 7th of August 2026. Directed by Vivid Korgaonkar, the film stars Jitendra Joshi as Keshav, a man whose life is about to change as his lie about being possessed by a spirit unleashes chaos in the circle.